This is amazing. In London, Texas, in 1936, they found a hammer fossilized in stone. And one, it shouldn't be in this stone that is dated millions and millions of years old. But what else is interesting about it is that this hammer, they've done a study on the metal itself. Yeah, it's dated by the evolutionists to be 135 million years old. Well, of course, no humans would have been in there, according to that timeline, to make a hammer. And yes, a hammer is there. Okay, it's dated by the evolutionists 135 million years old. And, according to evolutionists, there's no men that could possibly make a hammer that many years ago. So again, it destroys evolution, the whole theory. But what's interesting about this hammer is that it contains elements when it was analyzed that cannot be reproduced today. Okay, so this is the London hammer artifact. It was discovered June 1936 near London, Texas, 113 miles northwest of Austin. This hammer with partially colified handle was found in a lower Cretaceous sandstone along with clams, dated by the evolutionists 135 to 140 million years ago. Laboratorily determined to be 96.6 iron, 2.6% chlorine, and has no carbon inclusions or impurities. This exceptional and unusual metallurgy cannot be reproduced under today's atmospheric conditions. It would have needed the hyperbaric pre-flood atmosphere of Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artifactor in the brass and iron. Okay. Here we are again. This is a footprint that is obviously a gigantic human being. They're saying the man would have been 8.5 feet tall. To me, I think it would be probably more like 11 feet tall. These images here show that this is real. These are impressions that could only happen if there was a real weight on the mud itself. Here we have a sandal footprint, and what's unique about this, it's fossilized for one thing, and secondly, here's a human sandal, but look closely at what this sandal is stepping on at the same time that this human is alive. There's a trilobite, and according to evolution, trilobites went extinct millions and millions of years ago. And here we have, in the Creation Museum, actual stone cut out from the Paluxy River of dinosaur and human footprints overlapping each other. Have the dinosaur footprint, and there's the human footprint. This is the actual print, this is the actual fossil. Same layer, same time. Also a human finger, fossilized. And we have a really large human footprint here. I don't know of any human that has a footprint this large today. So this could be proof that humans were much larger, which would kind of go with, the Bible saying there were giants, also saying people lived a lot longer. So you have the toes, you have the feet, you have the over here, you have a very clear human footprint. They're deep, so this this being was heavy. This is a human footprint, again, in the same stone and level as the dinosaur footprints. Our theory of creationism is that there was water around the earth, and the magnetic field was a lot stronger. So in fact, you had some like a hyperbaric chamber around the Earth. The Earth was a hyperbaric chamber. So this is one explanation why creatures were larger and they lived longer. It might explain the long ages of man mentioned in the Bible. Here is a bison skull with its horns, and you'll see that this is a lot larger than the modern day bison.
The bees took less than a minute to find the food source. They did this 2 more times, moving it.
The fact that we have fossils is proof of the flood. When a cat dies in the backyard, it doesn't turn into a fossil. It decomposes. To have a fossil, it takes unique circumstances. You have to have rapid burial, and then you have to have heat and pressure so that mineralization of that bone can occur. The fact that we have fossils, so many fossils all over the earth, and marine fossils, even on the highest mountaintops, shows that there had to have been a worldwide flood in order to bury the creatures rapidly. Now you also have fish in the process of eating other fish, captured and fossilized. You have a plesiosaur having a baby, caught in the act of having a baby, fossilized. So this shows that it was very rapid. These creatures were caught off guard. And right here we have some drawings on rocks that are dated 700 AD from Inca burial stone. You'll see they've drawn on these stones pterodactyls and dinosaurs. I mean, they look exactly like a dinosaur, and they're riding them. Over here we have a pterodactyl being ridden again by one of the natives, Inca. So this is from the Nazca civilization. And this dinosaurs and humans shouldn't exist at the same time.
His mercy is shown on planet Earth in providing the ark, riding on the crest of the waves. But notice in particular, at the bottom of the wave crest, you have sedimentary deposits encasing fossils worldwide. The great massive body of those fossils and their encasement with very rapid sedimentary encasement would indicate that the global flood was necessary to provide that data that we find. Approximately 300 years after the worldwide flood, in the days of Peleg, the earth divided. The original word here means to divide by streaming, and it refers to the actual planet itself. That means that these continental separations that had occurred at the time of the flood now were separated, and we have an enlargement or a bulging, an enhancement of the globe to approximately its current size. At the same time, the mechanism to keep the Earth's magnetic field had been lost. The global conditions and climatological conditions were such that the ice ages and the ice epochs themselves would form. But notice we're losing the strength of the magnetic field. This brings us to our current globe in decay. This current globe in decay shows that we're further losing the electromagnetic field. We're having volcanic eruptions. We're having terrible disturbances, indicating that there's a time of mass confusion awaiting planet Earth if things continue as they are. But there is hope. In the evolutionary model, everything ends in despair. There is no real purpose underlying the experience of life itself. But in the creation model, they promise that the Creator himself will return and will reconstruct the conditions on planet Earth.
Here's the footprint, human footprint with the dinosaurs that stepped in the human footprint.
Crazy, right? That's actual. They cut this out of the flood area.